Okay, let's be real for a sec. Google's like everywhere, right? I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing. Morning coffee, checking the news, it's Google. Finding that new sushi spot across town, bam, Google again. And today, we're diving deep, really deep, into their money-making machine. We've got our hands on Alphabet Inc.'s Form 10Q for the quarter ending June 30th, 2024. It's like a sneak peek into the finances of a company that's basically shaping the digital world as we know it.
Yeah, it's like getting a backstage pass to see how the sausage gets made, financially speaking, of course. This quarterly report, you know it's serious stuff, filed with the SEC, gives us a glimpse into the financial health of one of the most influential companies on the planet. We get to see what's working, what's not, and maybe even get a clue about where they're headed.
And the big reveal, drum roll please. Alphabet's still raking it in big time. $84.7 billion in revenue for the quarter. That's a 14% jump. Seriously, where's all this growth coming from?
Well, it's not just one magic trick. It's a whole bunch of factors working together. But if we had to pick the stars of the show, it's got to be Google Services and Google Cloud. These guys are the heavy lifters, pulling in the big bucks. It all boils down to them tapping into this ever-growing digital world we live in. But we'll dissect those a bit later.
Okay, so let's talk money, specifically Alphabet's revenue streams. Advertising, that's got to be their bread and butter, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge slice of their pie. Think of their advertising revenue like a three-legged stool. You've got Google Search and Other, then YouTube ads strutting their stuff, and of course the Google network. Now, Search and Other, those are still the champs, pulling in a whopping $48.5 billion for the quarter.
So that's everything from those sponsored results popping up at the top of our searches to those sneaky ads we see in our Gmail inbox.
Exactly. Prime real estate in the digital world, my friend. Those eyeballs are glued to search results and refreshing those inboxes. It's advertising gold. Now, YouTube ads, they're not quite at that level yet, but they're definitely on the rise. They brought in a cool $8.6 billion this time around.
Wow. But you know what caught my eye? The Google network revenue actually dipped a bit this quarter. What's going on there?
All right, so a couple of things are at play there. First up, we see a dip in revenue from both AdMob and AdSense, which, those are the platforms letting website owners and app developers make some cash by running Google Ads. Less money flowing through those channels means a little less for Google's bottom line.
So it's like a domino effect. Less ad revenue on those partner sites means Google feels the pinch too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just internal stuff. External forces like, those currency exchange rates, they can be a bit unpredictable. Those played a role in that dip for the Google network too.
Okay, makes sense. So we've got the big picture of their ad game. Let's zoom in a bit. What's driving YouTube's ad growth? And anything interesting happening with Google Search and Other? They're like the rock stars of revenue, right?
Totally. So with YouTube ads, it's fascinating how they've managed to capture both sides of the coin. They've got the brand advertising game down, building that long-term buzz and making you love a brand. But they're also killing it with direct response advertising, which is all about getting you to click that buy now button. YouTube's format, especially with those longer videos, it's a perfect storm for both approaches.
Sure, true. When I get sucked into an hour-long YouTube rabbit hole, it's usually some influencer working their magic. But what about our revenue rock stars? What's Google Search and Other's secret sauce? How do they keep those numbers climbing?
Well, it's a mix of ingredients, really. First off, you've got the sheer number of people using Google, especially on their phones. More eyeballs on screens equal more chances for advertisers to get their message out there.
It's all about capturing those moments, right? When we need information or are about to hit that purchase button.
Exactly. Second, you've got advertisers getting smarter about digital marketing. They're realizing that Google Ads pack a punch and are willing to spend a little extra to see those results.
And I bet Google isn't just sitting back, relaxing, right? They're always cooking up something new to make those ads even more effective.
You bet. Google's constantly tweaking its ad formats, targeting options, delivery methods, always testing, experimenting, optimizing. They want those ads to resonate with users and give advertisers the biggest bang for their buck. It's this constant evolution, keeping advertisers happy and the revenue flowing.
It's amazing how they stay ahead of the curve. But let's not forget, Google's a multi-talented giant, not just an advertising machine. They've got their hands in so many cookie jars. Cloud computing, those intriguing other bets. So let's move beyond the flashy world of ads and see how those other ventures are performing. What hidden treasures are we going to unearth today?
Okay, so we've seen the advertising empire, right? But Alphabet's kingdom, way bigger. It's like sprawling. What's happening with their other ways of making money? I'm seeing Google subscriptions, platforms, devices. That pulled in, what, $9.3 billion?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. That's a pretty penny. It tells me that people, they're really into this whole subscription thing now, especially stuff like YouTube TV, YouTube Music Premium, Google One. The way we watch stuff, listen to tunes, even just manage our digital lives, it's changing, no doubt. I mean, remember when paying for stuff online, it felt kind of weird. Now it's like second nature. But let's talk about a different kind of giant for a sec. Google Cloud. They're going up against like the big guns, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and from the looks of it, they're holding their own.
Oh, yeah. Google Cloud is on a roll, man. $10.3 billion in revenue. That's got to make them smile. Their Google Cloud Platform, that's their answer to AWS, right? It's leading the charge. Then you've got Google Workspace, their productivity suite. Businesses are trusting Google more and more with their digital infrastructure, their operations, the whole shebang.
It's wild how they use their superpowers in data and online stuff to become this big player in the cloud world. But all this growth gotta cost a pretty penny too, right?
Yeah.
The report mentions their cost of revenue, it jumped up 11%. What's the deal there?
Super important point. Yeah, revenue growth is awesome, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. We got to look at costs too. That 11% bump, that covers a bunch of things. Traffic acquisition costs, they call it TAC for short, content acquisition costs, and then just all those other costs that come with running a giant company like Alphabet.
Okay, unpack that for me. TAC, that sounds kind of mysterious. What is that exactly? Is Google paying for ad space? Is that what's going on?
Think of it like this. TAC is the price Google pays to get people clicking on their ads, basically driving traffic to websites that show those ads. You see a Google ad on some website, part of the money made from that ad goes to the website owner. So yeah, it's like Google paying rent for some prime ad space all over the web.
So it's the cost of getting seen, right? Making sure those Google ads are everywhere, catching our eye.
You got it. And TAC matters even more for the Google network because they usually share a bigger chunk of the ad money with those partner sites, more than, say, ads on Google Search. It's a strategy, keep that ad network wide and powerful.
Right. Cast a wide net. Now, those other costs, specifically, this increase in content acquisition costs, what's that all about? Where's the money going?
Good question. It shows how Google's business, it's evolving, right? A big chunk of that money goes to paying licensing fees to content creators. The people making the stuff we love on YouTube, Google Play.
So as YouTube, Google Play, they want more stuff, more videos, more music, more apps to keep us hooked. They got to pay up. Think this cost, could it become a long-term problem for Alphabet?
It's a balancing act for sure. Those platforms grow, so does the demand for fresh, exciting content. And those creators, they deserve to get paid, right? Google's got to find that sweet spot, keep the creators happy, and the investors happy too. It's a tough spot.
High-stakes game, keeping everyone happy. Content is king, but so is a healthy bank account. Speaking of which, report also mentions this jump in capital expenditures. Where's all that money going?
That's where we see Alphabet. They're investing in the future big time. Big chunk of that money. It's going to upgrading, expanding their tech stuff. Imagine massive data centers, tons of powerful servers. It's the behind-the-scenes magic that keeps Google humming, handling all that data, which, let's be honest, is like a tsunami these days.
It's like building the roads and the power lines of the internet future. Right. Okay. So we've got this crazy revenue growth. We peeked under the hood at how they're making that money, and we see those big investments. What's the takeaway? Where's Alphabet going based on this financial snapshot? So we've seen Alphabet flexing, right, financially. But where's all that muscle going? Where's their head at for the future?
$1 million question, right? One clue, they're buying back their own stock. That's the share buyback program. Means they think their shares are on sale and the future is bright, putting their money where their mouth is.
Love it. Betting on themselves. But what about spreading the wealth? Investor love. Any news there?
Oh yeah, dividends. 320 cents per share this quarter. Rewarding those investors, showing confidence. We got this.
Dividends, buybacks. Yeah, that screams financial stability. But hold on, the report, it mentions some legal stuff, right? Antitrust issues, that can't be good.
Yeah, you can't ignore that. Legal battles, especially antitrust, those are shadows. Big, scary shadows. Big fines, maybe. Forced to change how they do things. Breakup. Who knows? But it'll definitely impact them, that's for sure.
Even tech giants, not invincible, right? Rules still apply. But you know what else caught my eye? The AI stuff. They're pouring money into AI, bringing all those research teams together. Feels like a peek into a future beyond search ads, you know?
Fascinating, isn't it? That move, consolidating all that AI brain power, it's a sign, right? They see AI as the next big thing. Imagine a Google that doesn't just find stuff for you, but like anticipates what you need, learns from you, even before you ask.
Oh,
Wild stuff.
exciting and kind of, I don't know, a little unnerving, yeah. But that's tech for you. And this deep dive into their financials, it reminds us we're not just watching from the sidelines. This digital world, we're living it.
Truth. And these reports, yeah, they're numbers heavy, but they're also stories. Stories about a company's vision, their priorities.
So as we wrap up here, I'm left wondering, will this AI gamble pay off? Can they stay on top with all this competition, the legal stuff? Time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Alphabet, they're not going anywhere. They're going to keep shaping our digital world, for better or for worse. And that's it for today's deep dive. But hey, keep those brains buzzing, folks. What surprised you? What questions are still swirling around in there? Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and as always, keep diving deep into the world around us.